Let me share with you tonight's topic for Cinderella Diaries, which is one that's actually, this one's going to be touchy for me. I know that. And I didn't doubt myself in sharing this with you, but I know it might touch on some sensitive spots for some of us. I know it certainly is a touchy topic for me. But welcome once again to Cinderella Diaries. The objective of these sessions on a Tuesday evening is to really share with you the stories of women who have chosen by faith in believing in themselves to step out of the fairy tale and actively create the life of their dreams. And tonight, like I said, these are short and sweet, they're real and raw, but they are definitely full of impact and inspiration. I want to share with you a little bit about one of the biggest losses, and I'm going to say losses. I'm going to use losses as the adjective here. One of the biggest sacrifices, one of the biggest things I gave up in my journey to wealth. And it is bittersweet because I'll start with this. I'm not the easiest person to get really close to. So I know a lot of you, you see me, I really am. I'm very friendly. I am a bundle of welcome and joy and love. That is absolutely genuine. I think I am friends and acquaintances with just about everybody I meet. My children would hear me saying hello to somebody and then look at me like, Mom, do you know this person? I'm like, no. Do I have to know the person? No, I don't think so. I am absolutely hugs and kisses, and you are my friend. I am your friend. When it comes to those people that I call friends, however, those people that are intimately connected to my life, that one's a harder one for me. It always has been. It seems to be one of the manifestations of my natural personality. And it's always been a struggle to let people in. And when I do let people in, I hold them on for dear life. I hold on to them for dear life. So part of my Cinderella experience, as I stepped into becoming who I believe I was destined to be, who I was supposed to be, I realized that a lot of the friends that I had in my life, they were no longer, the friendship was no longer, let's call it mutually beneficial. We no longer aligned. And it was really, really hard for me to make the decision to, I don't cut them off. I didn't cut them off, but to make the decision that that is not where I want to be spending my time. And that's not how I wanted to be spending my time. Honest. The biggest casualty in my wealth journey was the loss for me of friendships. How did I get through that? How did I make peace with that? I had to ask myself several questions, and I won't share all of them with you because this was really a process. But here's some of the things that I observed in the friendships that I had. We no longer had things to talk about, or I should say, we kept talking about the same things that for the most part came down to, oh, but this person or this situation or that situation. And we were no longer talking. Well, I shouldn't say no longer. I think this is just how it had been the whole time. And it never dawned on me that that was my situation until I started changing my thought process and exposing myself to different conversations. That dissatisfaction with the friendships that I had, that was tough. It was tough to acknowledge, and it was tough to do something about it. And I'm sharing that because I think a lot of people have the misguided notion that money changes people. Money doesn't change people. money magnifies what's already there. So whatever is there is just going to be put on a grander stage, have a larger impact, be seen so much more easily. That's what money does. But I wasn't going after money. My path, my journey was about wealth, which if you guys read my blogs, you know, for me, wealth is not about the money, it's about wellness. It's overall wellness and purpose. But I digress. The friends that I had before, and I'd say they're still friends now, but we're just not as connected as we used to be. They really were not moving me ahead. The friends kept me in the same space where I was. A lot of these conversations were not about finding solutions. They were about rehashing and talking about and resharing the things that were keeping us where we were. And of course, I thought about Cinderella and her band of friends in the Little Animals, the little cretins that were helping her, you know, sewing and doing her tasks and bringing her such joy. I asked myself, I wonder if they moved to the castle with her, but that's neither here nor there. My thing is this: the friends kept her where she was, and it was not helping to move me forward. The friends kept me there, and I grew tired of these conversations that were just complaints. I grew so tired of the conversations that pointed to everybody else's shortfalls instead of seeing how can we help and how can we help nurture and be a solution finder, be the person who helps and encourages and lifts up. I had to get out. Oh my goodness, I had to get out. And I have to say, I don't know if I did it all the right way, but it started with me just not having these conversations. I avoided them. I no longer went to the places where these conversations were being had. I offered myself to other places where the conversations were actually conversations that lifted me up. I stopped giving lip service to these conversations that were all about complaining, because I no longer had space in my journey for the complaints. I needed to make space in my journey for the solutions. I needed to make space in my journey for the way forward, for the next steps, for the next big thing, because I was being intentional about creating that next thing. I was being intentional about sitting in my purpose. And my purpose required me to focus. I don't know how many times I can tell you about friends who would call and leave a voicemail. It's like, oh, I see you checking your caller ID. Yes, I am checking my caller ID because my time is precious. And I had to learn not to apologize for that. Oh my goodness. I had to learn to not apologize for being on purpose. I don't know how many times I would get voicemails on my phone because my voicemail now talks about my work and my mission to help women embrace and create wealth. My voicemail tells my greeting, shares that when you come on. And the first thing my friends would say when they would leave a message is, oh, I don't need any help right now, Miss Money Navigator. And you hear the attitude. What are you doing? You're my friend. Support me, build me up, help to cheer me on. Instead, I was getting a lot of snide and sarcastic messaging and, you know, not really getting the support I needed. And I have to say it, I'm telling you honestly, it was the hardest thing to deal with along this journey, because I have not been able to replace some of the friendships that I've had to let go of. And I shouldn't even say replace them. The people that I would have picked up the phone and called and say, hey, I'm having this situation happen to me, or I'm stuck, or I'm this is happening. to hear me out, to listen. I didn't have that anymore. And it was hard. But, and I'm putting the but in right there. In doing that, in freeing myself from the weights that were holding me down, I have been able not only to help myself move forward, but I've been able to help so many other people, other women, in fact, men too, move ahead and take the steps they need to create the life they want. This is not about me dropping people because money changed me. This was about me needing to make space in my life for the things that will help support my purpose. And I stopped apologizing. I stopped apologizing for not taking the calls. I stopped apologizing for not showing up in this place or that place. I stopped apologizing for having nothing to contribute to the conversation, because in all honesty, I don't. What you guys are talking about does nothing for me. So I stopped being in those places and those spaces. As an undercover Cinderella, I would stay in those spaces. I would, keep the status quo. Don't step on any toes. Your friends are your boo. These people have been your ride or die. And then you realize, no, not so much. I don't know where you are in your wealth journey or your journey to that purposeful manifestation of your best gifts to the world. But I have to warn you that pursuing your purpose may require that you let go of some of the comfort zone friends that you've had, the ones that they were great entertainment at one point, but they may not be anymore, and they're certainly not supporting your purpose. It may be time to let go of the friends that have you doubting and second guessing. It may be time to let go of those people that are not, it's almost giving you backwards compliments. They're complimenting you, but they're actually throwing you a side eye at the same time. Whew, I don't know. This is harder than I thought, but you have permission to audit your squad. You have permission to audit who you spend time with. You have permission in your journey to purposely using and using your time, using your resources, using your wealth. You have permission to audit that and look for those friends that are actually going to move you forward. Wouldn't it have been fantastic if I had, well, I do actually, I shouldn't say I don't, but fantastic if I had more friends who would grow with me, who would get uncomfortable with me, who would see me creating and thriving and blossoming and come on that journey with me. I have to say that once I got deliberate about who I surrounded myself with and who I spent time with, I was able to identify other women who wanted to be part of my success, who wanted to help me build and help me grow. I have been so blessed to find women who are not doubtful about whether this is the thing I'm supposed to be. They believe in the vision. They believe in the direction. They believe in where I have to be and where I need to go next. I am so happy to have a few that from the very beginning up till now continue to be there for me. And let me just say this. Me no longer spending the time with certain people or investing in certain storylines or constructs, that does not mean that I'm no longer available to help. These people are still part of my life. They are still people that I am happy to help out, to assist, if they call and they need me, I'm there. I have just limited my exposure. I have not changed. Trust me when I tell you, who I am has not changed, but who I am giving access to myself, that has changed. And I am no longer apologizing for that. I'm not apologizing for that. I remember saying to somebody, it was quite someone who was very close to me. And I remember saying to them, I have a vision for where I'm going, right? And the words were, I don't think I'll say it exactly the same way, but the thought that I shared with this person was, I have the vision of where I'm going, and my kite is set to catch the wind. All I'm asking is that if you are not going to go with me, please don't be a weight on the tail of my kite. Let me go. And even now, I'm remembering some of the scenarios around that. But I have the vision. The vision wasn't anyone else's. If you're not going to help me catch the wind or help me rise up with the wind, that's okay. But you don't have to pull me down. You can release me and let me fly and be happy for me, be a cheerleader for me, even if you don't understand or you can't give me you can't give me a direct way of helping me lift up or grow. So I think every woman on your wealth journey, you certainly have the right to audit and curate your friends, who you're surrounding yourself with, who you're exposing your mindset to, who you're sharing your dreams with. Audit that. Come out of that Cinderella zone where you're playing it safe, where you're waiting for things to happen. Be deliberate about who, be deliberate about what, be deliberate about every little bit of exposure that people are getting to you and how they can impact you. And I say, get the friends that will lift you, that'll grow with you, that'll celebrate you, and for whom you can do the same. I think it has been liberating, as heartbreaking as it has been. And over the last few years, it has really been heartbreaking to let go of some of the old conversations, some of the old, sweet spots where you can, you always can, crack a joke and have a laugh and all of that. Sometimes I miss it, but I found others that'll lift me up and help me grow. So there you have it. Show me your friends. Well, I showed myself my friends, and then I made a deliberate choice. So I hope this is something that you can perhaps choose, something that'll help you on your wealth journey, to be deliberate about who your friends are, be deliberate about putting your purpose and your vision first and having others come in and cheer you on. You will find the people you need to support your wealth journey. You will find the people you need to help you be wealthy on purpose. But first, you need to let go of some of them that are just filling up space and messing with your head. So there you have it. Another Cinderella Diary entry in the books. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm hoping to share with you some stories of some of the women that I've had the pleasure of knowing and learning from in my next Cinderella Diaries next week. Until then, thank you for joining, and I'll see you on the other side. Awesome sauce.